What's up,
Hello,
world?
hello. There you go. Go, Shaw.
This is the special edition of the Rope Break Wrestling Podcast. Today, we are going to be discussing the current state of the women's division in wrestling in general. And my thoughts, it is on a current decline. Now, you ask, why would it be on a current decline? You got Chris Statlander as a champion in AEW. You got AJ Lee back. You have a lot of veterans coming back in WWE, finally getting their shine. Why in the world would the women's division be in a decline? I'll tell you why. Outside of the wrestling ropes of WWE Raw, there is no women's division. SmackDown has no roster. TNA has WWE flunkies. NXT is full of stars that don't have any indie cred. Because if you have any indie cred in WWE, you go straight to the main roster. Steph, etc. SmackDown, they're trying to do their best with Jade. It ain't working. It ain't working with Tiffany either. I'm sorry, it's not. Charlotte Flair, come on, man. You got her in purgatory with Alexa Bliss. Someone who's almost 40 years old, acting like she's 12. Outside of the ropes of the Raw ring, there is no women's division. Period, bar none. AEW, don't even get me started. You got nothing outside of Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné.
That's some strong statements. All of it was strong statements. That was definitely a tangent, my friend. Brother, SmackDown is. I feel like I told you this earlier. The SmackDown is Bianca's house, and it's just waiting for her to come back. Granted, it's boring without her, but they have big stars like Julia, who's just waiting to get that push. I love me some Kiana James. I think she's great to be paired with Julia because she's great on the mic, and I think she's good in the ring. I think her physicality. She's a bigger girl, and we don't have too many big girls in the division other than like Rhea and Tiffy. Tiffy's kind of big as well, and of course Nia. But we're not putting Nia and Jade in that category. Um, but I do feel like, hey, SmackDown is just waiting for something to happen. And when Bianca comes back, which I hope is pretty soon, I hope she comes back this Friday, because the SmackDown's women's division isn't all that good. But I think when it goes to AEW, I feel like you're wrong. I feel like, yes, they have Tony and they have Mercedes, but Tekla, the Toxic Spider, she's something. Megan
Who?
Bain has, but you might not like Tefla, but I like Tefla. Megan Bain has potential. I think they need to let her
Potential.
talk. She
When
has
you have
potential.
potential, you are in Ring of Honor. Then you get brought up. If you got potential in WWE, you in NXT. Then you get brought up. We're talking about stars who are on the main roster on these shows that are not holding up their weight.
Okay, so
Some of
how
these
can you
women
even
have
say
been
that
on the
you're on Ring of
AEW
Honor if you
roster
have
for
potential?
years. For years.
Okay,
For
how
years. And
can
they
you even
still ain't
say
shit.
potential in Ring of Honor when the Ring of Honor Women's Champion is Athena, who is probably one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet, not just in that company.
Okay. Still can't do shit. Gave her a chance with Tony, failed it. Can't talk on the mic, still to this day. And that match was ass.
That
Can
was
we
just with
curse?
Tony. Her and Tony did Statlander, and the Fatal 4 Way wasn't the best match on the show. It wasn't the best match that Tony Storm has ever had either, or Chris Statlander for that matter.
Athena is the prime example of someone who leaves WWE, and then you question why did they not get that push, and then you see them in another company, and they still are not the top star that they're supposed to be when they leave WWE. Everybody will leave WWE, oh, because they didn't know how to be utilized. What's Athena's excuse?
I feel like Athena's just waiting to happen. She can come back up at any time and be a main roster superstar. Like I feel like Statlander's first feud should be with Athena.
Once again, you're referring to stars who have had years of time. to be great. I feel 3 years from now, you're going to have an excuse of why Jade is still botching.
I've never excused Jada's in-ring performance. I feel,
She's on
and I've stated
SmackDown.
this
That's the
before.
problem. She's
No,
on SmackDown.
if she was on Raw, what would she do? Wrestle
She
Rhea?
need to be on NXT.
Why would you give somebody that much money to be on NXT?
Why would you give someone that much money to fuck up every night?
People don't get the money for being. They don't pay her, and this is Triple H has stated. They don't have wrestling. They pay for moments. Jade's a moment maker. Just a photo of Jade standing there posing is magic for that moment. For a moment, we're not talking about our in ring. We're wrestling fans. WWE is not trying to cater to us.
I was getting a call. Sorry, it went off.
I see it.
You
It
have a
told me
lot
that
of
you're.
nuances, and what we need to work on in building and everything else. And that's cool. That is fucking cool. And I think that it's great that you have a lot of high hopes for people who have had multiple opportunities in multiple companies. Jade being one of them, Athena being another, and I can keep going down the list. A lot of these stars in AEW have been on the fucking indies for eons. So they're trained. They're trained. They should know how to do shit. The only thing is they have no fucking mic training. The only thing is they don't know how to story tell. So all the things that you don't get in developmental, the things that they're lacking and missing, so happens to coincide with why AEW isn't top notch because it lacks storytelling. It does,
I
and it
agree. I
also
agree.
lacks a decent women's division. Because most of these pay-per-views, you got maybe 1 or 2 matches, and those matches are like a big rumble of shit, like 8, 9 women and shit. What the fuck we got that for? And why isn't there a
Okay, but
women's tag team division in
I
AEW? You
mean,
still
they
ain't got
don't
that?
really have tag teams. They don't
Because you
really
don't have a
have
women's
tag teams.
roster. Because you don't have a women's roster. Like my point is exactly the only women's roster is on Raw. There is no women's roster outside of WWE Raw. SmackDown
NXT,
ass,
NXT got a
AEW
NXT
ass.
has a women's roster. NXT has a
Oh, oh,
women's roster.
they do. Oh, they do. Who?
Yes,
Who?
we can
Who?
name them. Miss. Okay, we're gonna say Jada Parker, JC Jane, Fallon Henley, Jasmine Nix. I mean, I can go on if you would like me to, but there's
Who the
women there that
fuck are
can
they?
go. You can't say you don't know who Miss Parker is. Now, come on
And
now.
that's the exception to the rule. Who the fuck is gunning for
And
Jasmine
that
Nix?
you know who Fallon Henley is.
Who the fuck is gunning for Fallon Henley? Who's going? I can't wait till she goes to the main roster. You're comparing her to a Roxy. You're comparing her to a
No,
Steph Valkyrie. These are the women with Julia. When these
no.
women got to NXT, it was like I cannot wait until they get to the main roster. Who is sitting
And the
there
only one,
scratching their thumbs, going,
Jordan
"Ooh, I
Grace.
can't wait to see Fallon Henry."
So you don't want to see Jordan Grace on the main roster. You used to be you were a thick Jordan fan. Not muscle Jordan, but you were a thick Jordan fan if I remember correctly.
If you put Jordan Grace on the main roster, you kill the NXT women's division because you have no one left. You already took everybody else.
That's true. Blake Monroe, Mariah May, aka Mariah May. Mariah's there.
Mariah May is not good in AEW. I mean, sorry, in NXT. She was way
NXT.
better in AEW. But even with AEW, it's like you only gave her one person to feud with,
Tony Storm. So that's
and
true.
that was the greatest feud of the year. In a year
It
where
had
we feuded
story
about fucking bracelets and dogs and shit, it was a breath of fresh air to see some real heat.
for a belt. For somebody just wanted to be the top of the division instead of a bracelet and
So that's my
a
argument,
necklace.
sir. My argument is that the women's division in wrestling lies in the rings of WWE Raw. Outside of that, I don't think there's anything else going on.
I truly feel when Bianca comes back, those things will change. It depends on how they move Bianca. If they're going to make Bianca the ultimate baby face, is Jade going over against Tiffy and Nia this time, and then we can actually have a proper feud of Jade versus Bianca. We've already had Jade versus Naomi. We're obviously not going to get Naomi versus Bianca until Naomi comes back from her pregnancy. Um, there's things that we have to wait for. I understand that you feel that SmackDown is slow, that AEW has nothing.
I didn't say
But
slow. I said it was ass.
ass. Okay, that SmackDown is ass and AEW's ass and that Raw has all the best talent. I do believe that Raw does have the best talent. The Raw has your Oscars and your Rhea Ripley's and your Stephanie Vickers and your Io Skies and Kari Zanes and Natty's and Ivy Nile, yeah, and Bailey and Lyra. I mean, I can continue to say there's Roxy, there's Raquel, there's all the main people are on Raw. The main people are on are on Netflix. I feel like they're not catering to in the U.S. because I know everything's on Netflix, worldwide, but they're not catering to the USA Network because they want to. They don't want to be on USA anymore. Um, like it's they don't care, and as soon as they're off of USA, they'll probably have a better division. Roman Reigns isn't even on SmackDown anymore, and he's a SmackDown superstar. If you look on the roster page, it doesn't even make sense. So is Jimmy. He's not on there. They Cody wasn't there. Cody's barely there. Cena's not going to be there anymore for the rest of his time of wrestling. They don't care about SmackDown, and I think that's done purposely. But SmackDown does have potential. Mia Yim, she's there. Piper Nevin, I hope she recovers soon and gets back to doing it. Chelsea Green is a star in the making. You talked about Charlotte Flair not being utilized because she's hanging out with Alexa Bliss, but this is the most over as a babyface Charlotte will ever get is if she hangs out with Alexa Bliss because Alexa is over as a babyface. Charlotte is doesn't have who feels sorry for naturally better because she's genetically superior. That doesn't make sense. So she needs this breath of fresh air away from the main title picture so she can get over as a babyface. Tiffany Stratton, I'm not a fan of Tiffany Stratton at all. But I know a lot of people love to yell, "It's Tiffy time." I've never yelled it was Tiffy time. I didn't see. She's athletic, she's big, she's strong, but her character work is trash. I believe that she's she's trash when it comes on the mic. She's not. Her best promo was when she had to use real life that Ashley Flair was divorced 3 times. That was it. Um, but we have so much potential for the SmackDown Women's Division. Mia Yim, great in ring. Your girl BFAB gotten better. We got, like I said, Kiana James. Love me some Kiana James. Julia, she's the Women's U.S. champion. Chelsea Green, you can put her in a main event spot against any babyface, and people will want to see it because Chelsea Green can do her job. Chelsea Green is phenomenal. Um, it's just so much stuff can happen. It's just they not pulling the trigger because everybody's in purgatory until Bianca comes back.
Okay. 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 Let me pull out. See, I used my ace earlier. Let me pull out my joker.
Okay.
You talk all these nuances, potential, future plans, and I feel you. If I'm paying $130 just to get in the fucking building with taxes and shit, if I give a fuck about potential, I don't care about potential. I want results now.
Yeah.
This is prime rib I'm paying for, bruh. Prime motherfucking. This is WWE. This is the creme de la creme. Triple H, we asked for this. We asked for him to take over and to make things better. Okay, cool. Are things really better? Are they? Are they really better? No, they're not.
They're
They're
more
stagnant.
expensive.
Nothing is moving.
But that's not. But I can't. We can't blame the prices on Paul Levesque, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H,
No. I'm saying if you're
Jean
going to
Paul
pay
Levesque,
those
whatever.
prices, I don't want to hear about potential. I want good
But
ass fucking matches and good stories.
if we want to talk about prices, WrestlePalooza was the most mid pay per view of the year, and the price went up to $30 here in the U.S. Um, some of us watched it for free, legally and
Oh
illegally.
yeah.
Let's not lie.
Hell yeah. Yes, sir. Speaking league.
Mine was legally. Mine was legally. I got the free Fubo uh free trial and download the app. But but I can say for I mean ESPN gave the pay per view and they said it was trash, but they said the best part of the whole pay per view was Stephanie versus Io, and that does kind of prove your point that it was the Raw girls, two girls on Raw, that made that pay per view worthwhile, worth purchasing something for $30. Um, So I see your point, but it's wrestling. Even if it's more expensive, we've had mid points in wrestling where wrestling was just in a holding pattern. How many times did we watch wrestling, even though it was like barely interesting, when it was just waiting to WrestleMania season, waiting to the Royal Rumble time, waiting for Survivor Series, waiting for something like that? We've watched wrestling, and I think this is just one of those periods where it's going to be like, hey, it's okay. And the best thing on Raw is not the women's division. The best, like I told you earlier, I think Becky Lynch is horrible in ring. She's the worst out of the four horse women, the worst when it comes to in ring competition. But she's the most over out of all of them. The most over. Can't take that away from her.
There is no reason why the product should be this stale. There is no reason why the product should be this stale, especially when you know you have competition. What AEW might lack in their women's division, which I know is a topic they make for in other ways, their pay per views. If we're comparing WWE pay per view every 2-3 days to AEW doing it, they're putting a lot more effort into it. All Out was freaking amazing. And the few women's matches that we did get definitely rival anything that we get on the average from WWE. I mean, the women go all out in AEW, and they do. With WWE, it's a whole lot of storytelling and a whole lot of setup before the big spot. It is a whole lot more big spots than there is any consistency within the match. There's no real back and forth, especially in matches where the two opponents have built up so much story throughout the upcoming. But then when we get the match, it's like, okay, nothing. I'm sorry. Becky Lynch and AJ should have been way better. It's very disappointing. And meanwhile, Chris Statlander, fucking amazing match.
Okay, so the stat match, I don't think it was amazing. It was good. It was a good spot match with four women. I think stats win would have meant more if it was and especially since Tony took the pin, it would have meant more if she would have beat Tony in a one-on-one situation.
Yeah,
Like
but
if
that
she
win meant more than when Steph won.
I don't think so. Steph beat the best woman's wrestler on the planet. It's Io. Io is the best women's wrestler on the planet. And Oscar's my favorite, but if we want to just talk about in-ring ability, it's Io. Selling, storytelling, Io can do it all.
I
Athleticism.
I strongly disagree with that completely and totally.
So who do you think is the best woman on the planet?
I think right now, I would have to say Rhea Ripley.
I believe Rhea's the biggest star. I don't think she's the best in-ring performer.
Nah. I think she's the best in ring performer that we have right now. Period. Period.
I
Period.
truly
Period.
believe when it comes to Rhea, I truly believe that Rhea is she rivals any star in wrestling. Period. Like Rhea comes into a room, Rhea has aura, she has presence. Rhea's a bigger star, I think, on the mainstream stage than Roman Reigns. The only people they have to come out that might be a bigger star than Rhea is John Cena, and John Cena's on his way out. Um, but I don't think her in ring is as crisp. Like she had an amazing match this past Monday with Asuka, but let's not lie, Asuka is Asuka. If Chris Benoit was a Japanese woman, he'd be Asuka.
Okay.
And and Oscar's, you can't have a bad match with Oscar. It's not possible because she's gonna pull it back together, and especially if we already have chemistry. They've had 2 matches prior to that, so obviously they've already wrestled with one another. Um, but I don't think every match that Rhea had was the best. Rhea's best matches are with people like Charlotte Flair. Who has a bad match with Charlotte?
Bottom line is this, because it is getting it's 8 o'clock, yeah, and I got to go to bed soon. I want to make this
I
point.
know.
I want to make this point. Raw has all the cards. They do. Raw has all the fucking cards.
I
No,
agree.
I'm sorry.
I agree.
Raw has the majority of the deck, but I think AEW has your Joker and your spades and your deuces. And what I mean by that is what they might lack as far as numbers on that women's roster. You still have Tony Storm, you still have Mercedes Moné, you still have Chris Statlander. Period.
And
You still
Tekla,
have those stars.
a
And
toxic
no
spider.
yeah, whatever. And no
I like
disrespect,
Tekla. I don't care.
comparing and contrasting that to SmackDown, like I was saying earlier, as far as their talent, I mean, there isn't any. I think if we're doing tiers, I would go the Raw's division numero uno, AEW's women's division second, and then SmackDown somewhere underneath NXT.
The NXT because they pretty much the same.
NXT, yeah, they got Soul, they got they got Miss Parker, they got some
Yes,
heavy on NXT, but the heavy hitters they have are not household. They're not ready for
they're
prime
not
time.
household names now.
They're not ready for prime time.
I
That's
can't
all
wait
I'm
till
saying.
Zarya gets called up from NXT.
Boy, I can't wait till Soul
Hey,
Ruga gets called up.
you just want to see Saul break her neck on national television.
What? That's not what I said. I never said that, sir. I said she's gonna go very far with that special move that might end up,
Crippling her, yes.
in the NFL. I know you don't watch sports, but they have this thing called hospital pass. It's
Mm-hmm.
when a quarterback knows a wide receiver is like in triple coverage and still throws to that muff. Like you got Andy Reid in the backfield. Why are you throwing to this nigga?
You know he gonna get hit, and he gonna get hit hard.
That's how I feel about Soruka's finisher. Come
Well,
on, bro.
it's nice to look at. It just you
It's a
pray every
hospital
time she
pass.
hits it.
It's a
But
hospital pass.
I mean, far worse. Look, Nikki Bella had to stop using the rack attack because it was jarring her neck, right? And now she does a TKO, the rack attack 2.0.
Yeah.
So yes, I believe that flipping cutter could be bad. I mean, she stated that she wanted to be a flipping stunner, and somebody was like, "You're going to break your tailbone." No,
Yeah, you don't break what little booty you got. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here, man. That's all I wanted to say. It was good talking to you, and I hope you have a good evening.
you too, sir, and everyone else, like, follow, subscribe. I'm Alex. He's Ashah. This is Road Break. We're out.